What's up everyone, and welcome to day 6 of Foundation. Today we're looking back at singles and accent tap both at 80 to 90 beats per minute. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, didn't we already play that? We did. But since when do we play tempos one time and then we're ready to go? Obviously we have to go back and we have to get reps. It's only the beginning stages of drumming where you're learning new skills. That's the beginning part. Once you understand the skill, then you have to practice it through reps and reps and reps to truly understand the technique and make it perfect. I can't stress this enough. If you learn poor technique by rushing and trying to get to tempos that you really want to play faster, but your hands aren't quite there yet, you're gonna have to come back and do this all over again. Believe me, I've been there. I've gotten to a point where I realized my technique is suffering and I can't play as well as I want to at the tempos that I want to, so I had to come back to the slowest tempos that I could control and truly build that muscle memory. So, let's get it right the first time. Let's enjoy this session and let's get better. What's up everybody, and welcome to Singles. Before we get started, we need to know what you're focusing on. We're gonna get faster singles, that's for sure the goal here, but also we need to focus on what you need to work on. So take a look here. These are skills that are worth thinking about, right? As we go through different exercises, these will change over time, but for now, take a look at these, make sure you feel confident, pick something. Pick something that you know you need to work on that will get you better from where you are now till the end of this video. Alright, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's dive into our first tempo. We're going to be going from 80, you already know this, you've read the title. We're going from 80 to 90 beats per minute. We're going to start off slow. We're going to have to control tempo. We're going to have to control our strokes. It's going to be excellent. It's going to be a whole different kind of exercise as we speed up the tempo. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Alright, let's dive into our first tempo of 80 beats per minute. We're going to play this exercise 4 times and I'll tap us off. Listen to the tempo, get your feet going, think about what this is going to feel like. Here we go. 1, 2, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. 2, and again, 2, right with your feet. Very good. And again, 2 more times. Very good, and last time, here we go. Very good. All right, first exercise chunk through. All right, really good stuff. what I want to think about and I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk a little bit between each tempo jump before we move to the next tempo. I want to talk about the real purpose of this exercise. I went over this in the intro exercise, but it bears repeating, and I will talk about it more than once. It's so important to focus and master the rebounding of the stick. We want the stick to rebound just like a basketball, right? You push it down, it comes right back up for you, right? So that's exactly what we're doing here. So if you find yourself, maybe your hand is a little closed, maybe you're just a little tight, maybe you're just not letting the stick bounce as it wants to, maybe you're using too much wrist control, maybe you're using too much arm. There's a lot of ways that you can make this stroke less effective than it can be, right? The main goal here is the stick is nice and rebounded, right? You push down and the stick comes right back up. So make sure you put enough energy, velocity into pushing the stick down so that it comes back up. If I don't put enough energy, it still wants to come back up, but it's not going to come back up. I gotta put some energy into it, right? So right now we want to play full out because it's really slow. When it gets really fast and we're playing, it's going to be hard to play that all the way up here. You definitely can, but especially when it's slower, we want to build that ability to play as high as we can with as much velocity and as much energy as possible. All right, so focus on pushing down and letting the stick come right back up for you. All right, word? Cool. All right, let's do 82 beats per minute. Here we go. A little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, again, go. Very good. And again, 2, ready, go. Very good. 2 more times. 2, right with your feet. Very good. Last time here, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. All right, second tempo done. We're flying through this thing. Very good. Okay, a couple things to think about and things that we've probably talked about in the intro video. Probably, like I don't know. But things we've talked about in the intro video, but I want to reiterate them as we go because this is the best tempo to think about them because there's so much time to think. In between changing hands, right? You play your right hand for 8 notes and you play your left hand for 8 notes. What happens in that transition? A downstroke. That's right. Very good. Yeah. We're like doing Dora the Explorer over here, or Blue's Clues. You should just go ahead, shout the answers out. If you know them, go ahead. Downstrokes, right? So we want to stop the stick here. We're playing legato strokes. That's what these singles are. right? Nice and rebounded, but in between, we want to stop the stick. And that is preparing us for a skill we're going to work on later. Might be accent tap. I don't know. Anyway, we want to make sure that we stop the stick nice and relaxed, right? All you're doing is allowing the stick to rebound at a very low height, right? You're restricting the rebound. It doesn't mean squeeze the stick as hard as you can, put your shoulder into it, change anything. All it means is just how we're efforting here. You just let it rebound to a lower height, right? That's a mistake that a lot of young drummers make, where they over squeeze their hands and then their hands aren't ready to play more complicated things when their hands are lower. You want to be as relaxed as possible as often as you can, right? So that's super important. And the other thing to think about before we jump to the next tempo is making sure to listen to what you're playing. We're always going to listen to the metronome. It's hard to ignore that, and we always want to play in time because we're drummers, and that's your primary role as a drummer, right? You better be if you're not in time, the whole band, the whole group, whatever you're playing in, they're out of luck. So, of course, you're thinking about time, and that is right on. You really should be. The next thing that you need to be thinking about is listening to your sound, right? What does this sound like, right? We're going to talk a lot about mechanics and techniques, but don't get so lost in mechanics and techniques that you forget that you're playing a musical instrument, right? It's not as flowery all the time when you're talking about technical language, but don't forget this is musical, right? It's not the most interesting exercise on the planet, believe me, but you can hear the quality of your sound. Does this sound the same? Right? If your sticks aren't balanced, like if this one's a little bit thicker than the other, or this one's wood is a little bit denser, you'll hear the difference, right? And that's okay if it shows up on a pad. That's not the end of the world. But listen to make sure they sound the same. Is it as rebounded? Are you playing perfect eighth notes that sound like one volume? Train your ears. That's part of what we're doing here. All right, I've been going on far too long. We're at 84. 1, 2, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. 2, and again, 2, listen to your sounds. Very good. 2, and 2 more times at this tempo. Very good. Last time here, and 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah, all right, we're through another tempo. All right, a couple things to talk about at this point. Okay, so we have talked about listening to the sound. Make sure you feel the same thing at eighth notes as you do when we go to 16th notes. Because get ready, I'm going to blow your mind. Because this is what 16th notes are. right? Oh. They're eighth notes, right? We're just playing eighth notes. So we're practicing what our hands are going to be doing when we put them together for 16th notes. But it just gives you time to think about each hand on its own. So make sure that eighth notes feel the same whether you're playing 16th notes, eighth notes with your right hand, or you're just playing eighth notes with your right hand and you're not filling in the left, right? So pay attention to that. Does this feel the same as when you add in the left? It's really easy to make that feel different. It's really easy to start changing things when you start adding in variables, right? The variable is now we're playing both hands at the same time, almost, just offset. This would be the same time, just for those who like technicalities, right? I'm with you. I hear you. All right, and then, and another thing to think about, what do you want your performance to be like? Are you working on the marching world where you're going to be like real stoic and just locked in and you just need to play perfect without making an error? That's totally cool. Or are you working on drum set and you want to be able to jam and perform a little bit, or if you're in the marching world, you're playing WGI and all that. Think about what you want your performance to be and practice that at home too, because if you don't practice the way you want to perform, you will perform what you're most comfortable with. Because as soon as you get in front of an audience, right, you get a little bit nervous or adrenaline, or if you're not confident with something, it's hard to fake confidence when you're performing, right? So think about what you want that performance to be and, bob your head a little bit. See if you can smile even. See what you can do with your face. What do you want to be able to do? Do you want to be able to groove a little bit with this, right? Start to think about those things too, because however you practice is how you're going to perform. There's no way to just turn it on a dime. You have to be able to do it at home when no one's looking. So get used to that idea also. All right. We're jumping to 86. You already know it. 1 and 2 and 86. Here we go. Very good. 2 and again 2. Ready, go. Very good. 2 more times, and 1 and 2. Ready, go. Very good. Last time here, and 1, 2, last time. Yeah, very good stuff. All right, 2 quick things I want to talk about here. One is tacit hands, right? Don't forget when we're stopping the stick that is not playing our tacit, it is taking up tacit space right now, right? What is it doing? When my left hand is playing, what is my right hand doing? And vice versa, what is my left hand doing when my right hand is playing? It should be in playing position, ready to play, right? Very close to the head of the drum, especially if you're in the marching world. If you're not in the marching world, just needs to be lower, right? You don't want it floating around here, like playing here. It just looks weird, right? You know, a lot of drumming is visual, so you don't want to look strange. You want to look the way you want to look, but strange is probably not on the top of anybody's list. So pay attention to your tacit hand. All right. The other element is don't forget that we're practicing, right? Take a look. You'll see me do it. Take a look at what you're doing, right? Earlier on, you thought I wasn't going to address this. Yeah, I hit my own stick, right? So I took a look down to see what was happening, to see if my right hand maybe was drifting or my tacit hand was moving or something, right? Sometimes that happens. That's why we're here practicing and we want to get better, right? So take a look. Don't be afraid to look down. Do your performance, right? We're trying to perform and trying to reach that level of comfortability with our performance, but it's okay. We're also practicing. So take a look down as you need to. All right. Very good. We're jumping to 88 beats per minute. Here we go. 1 and 2. Make the adjustment. 2. Ready, go. Very good. 2, and again, 2, ready, go. Very good. 2 more times. 2, ready, go. Very good. Last time here, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. All right. Awesome. One thing to think about, I'm only going to give you one, and then we're at our goal tempo, which is really cool. One thing to think about is usually in hand transitions, right? When I'm going from right hand to left hand and then back from left to right, that's when rhythmic errors tend to show up, right? Because your hand, once it's playing, your brain likes to do the same thing, right? It figures out how to do the same thing really well, but then the second you switch, they're like, it has to recalibrate its left hand. It's like, all right, how do I do this again? Okay, cool. And obviously, the more reps you do, the faster your brain will calibrate because it's all memorized and your muscle memory's taken over, which is great. That's what you want. But while you're learning, here's a tip to think about is when you're changing from right hand to left hand, the most common errors happen on the first 4 notes, right? It's not going to happen once your left hand's already going, but it might happen on 1 and 2 and 3, somewhere in there. So a trick to think about is while you're playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's how we count 8th notes. I know you already knew that. Is focus on the 8 notes in between, right? So you're playing 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Right, you don't even need to think about all 4 notes, or 8 notes. You can think about the 4 notes. 4 and 1 and 2. Is that perfect 8th notes? Does it feel the same? 4 and 1 and 2. Right, and then the same thing when you switch back from the left. 4 and 1 and 2. 4 and 1 and 2. and 1 and 2, right? That's a trick to think in your brain just to make sure you're transitioning between hands perfectly, rhythmically accurate. There's too many lees in there. All right, anyway, 90 beats per minute. Hey, we're at our goal tempo. Super cool. Don't change anything. Unless you're making errors, then definitely change those. But otherwise, don't change anything just because of the tempo. Not that fast yet. Keep those heights up. Here we go. 1, 2, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. 2, and again, 2, ready, go. Very good. 2, 2 more times. 2, ready, go. Very good. Last time here, and 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah, all right. That's our goal tempo. And if you thought we were done there, you'd be wrong. We need to move a little bit faster. All right, what I want to do, and we're going to do this in all of our videos, so secret's out, I want to bump it 4 clicks. I want to jump to 94 beats per minute, like you couldn't see that the like the video was almost over. There's like, wow, there's like 10 minutes left. I wonder what's going to happen. We're going to jump to 94 beats per minute because I want to push the tempo a little bit. What's really cool about when you're trying to get faster is if you push yourself just a little bit outside your comfort zone and then you come back to your goal tempo, it already feels better. You know, if you want to really get fast at 200 beats per minute and you get to a point where you can play like 220 beats per minute, then 200 feels like nothing, right? So that's what we're going to do here. It's just a micro version of that. So we're going to do the same exact thing. We're just going up to 94 beats per minute. Just push the envelope a little bit. See if we can get a little uncomfortable. Or maybe you're super comfortable and then you're really ready to move on, which is awesome. But a little faster now. Here we go. Make the adjustment. 1, 2, still full out. 2, ready, go. Very good. 2, and again, 2, ready, go. Very good. 2 more times, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. Last time here, and 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah, nice job. 94 beats per minute. Did you even know you were going to play that fast? The video said stop it at 90. And look at you, already breaking the rules. All right, now I want to come back to 90. That was silly. All right, now we're back to 90. Reel it in. Serious? No, that's cool. 90 beats per minute, and I want to do 2 performance reps. All right, and a performance rep is you imagine yourself in your performance environment, right? Where do you like to perform? Where do you hope to perform, right? Where is your goal, right? Are you preparing for an audition? Are you preparing for a big contest? Are you preparing for a big show? Wherever you want to perform, put yourself there in your mind. See if you can make yourself a little nervous, get that nervous, anxious, excited energy, right? You're ready to go out there, but you can't play quite yet. Get yourself in any kind of state that you can to be ready to perform, all right? And what performance means is you're going to start listening a little bit more carefully at your errors because these 2 count, right? These 2 reps count more than the practice reps do, all right? So your goal here, 2 reps with no errors. All right, I want you to count your errors. I want you to think about it. I want you to notice them. I want you to be hypercritical on yourself so that you can get rid of all your errors, right? You have to notice what's not perfect in order to get to perfect. Cool? All right, performance reps. 1, 2, and no errors. Here we go. Very good. 2, and last time, here we go. Yeah, all right, how did you do? Did you really get to a point where you really had no errors? If you did, that's phenomenal. If you didn't, that's okay, all right? That's what's cool about these kind of performance test reps when you're at home practicing on your own. It's because there's no stakes, right? That's just a small example of really where you are and what you need to work on, right? Maybe you were doing something great. Maybe your hand transitions were just on fire this whole time, and then all of a sudden, you put the microscope on, you go, all right, no errors, no errors. All right, then you started hearing like, that 8th note was a little bit earlier. This one, this downstroke, I keep squeezing, I can hear the sound change, right? You start to hear and find those errors a lot faster. And that's great. That's what you want to find. You want to find what's not perfect so you can get to the next level. And hey, if that exercise from 80 to 90 went really well, I'm really excited for you, and go ahead, move on to the next video. But if it didn't, and you feel like I just need some more work, no problem. That's why these videos are here. Go back. If you think people are playing 80 to 90 beats per minute one time, you're crazy. I had to play 80 to 90 beats per minute a million times. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, literally a million reps in order to get confident and competent with it. You have to practice these things a ton of times, and that's how you build perfect muscle memory, and that's how you really get fast singles. Because if you can play them slow with awesome technique, then you build a little faster with perfect technique, and then even faster, and before you know it, seriously, before you know it, you're up at 200 beats per minute, and you're flying around doing things you never realized you could do. But this is the foundation. So, however that went for you, if you're ready for the next video, that's awesome. I'll see you there. But if you're not ready, I'll see you back here. All right? Thanks a lot for playing along. I will see you in the next one. everybody. We're here working on accents and taps. Here are the skill sets that we're working on. Make sure you pick something, make sure you know what you're working on as you're getting to know yourself through accents and taps. But if you're ready, I'm ready to get into this. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. All right, take a look at the music down below, but otherwise definitely memorize that as fast as you can so that you're not thinking about the music and what's coming next. You want to be thinking about what your hands are doing and how to get better at it. But we're going from 80 to 90 beats per minute through this. Not very fast. This is a foundational skill set, and we're going to control it. So here we go. We're diving into our first tempo. We're at 80 beats per minute. We're going to 90. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Nice and legato, nice and rebounded. Right in time with your feet. Very good. Again, last time here. Memorize what this feels like, because you're going to use it throughout the whole exercise. Same height every time. We're building chops here. And memorize. Don't speed up. Nice and even. Two, one more time here. Make every note sound the same. Really listen. Even on those hand transitions. How are those tacit hands? Very good. All right. This exercise is very challenging at this tempo because we want to speed up, especially when we're at a low height, right? So that's something we're really going to have to focus on at the low tempo. So this is an exercise, honestly, you can come back to even when we're really up in the tempo, when we're burning it, this is something that's totally worth coming back to see if you can truly have control at a slow tempo. It's much easier to control this exercise once we get in the 100 to like 140 range. But at 80 beats a minute, that's no joke. That takes a tremendous amount of tempo control. All right, so as for a little bit, it's going to get a little bit easier as we bump the tempos up. So just know that, but develop your technique at this tempo, right? Don't think that because it's slow, that means it's easy. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's good or bad, just the reality is sometimes going slower is much harder. Okay, so at least tempo-wise. And it gives you time to think about what does something feel like, and you can make adjustments much faster. So there's benefits and challenges to this tempo that we're going through. But we're going to 82 beats a minute. Why don't you join me? Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Memorize how this feels. Nice and legato, even though it's a low height. Nice relaxed downstrokes. Make it feel the same on the left. Good control. Same heights every time. Good taps. Very good. Again, last time here. See if you can become robotic about it. The same exact accents, the same exact taps. Take a look down. Very good. Very good. Yeah, one of the things about being robotic, I don't mean to turn you into a robot. There's plenty of time for that later. But be robotic in a sense where once you develop what it feels like to play a tap or a legato stroke at this height with your left hand and with your right hand, see if you can replicate that every single time. You want to burn this into your biochemistry in your body so that when you play at this height, at this tempo, your body just knows what to do. It's a feeling more than it is something like a decision that you want to make. You don't want to be making a decision. You want to have this burned into your hard drive, your memory, so that you can just turn it on whenever, whatever it is that you're working on. If you're playing something real cool on a snare drum or moving around the drums and you want to get real quiet and then pop out with cool accents, you want to be able to just tap into that without thinking. So that's the sense of roboticness that's super useful to have. And if you're ready, I'm ready, and we are at 84 beats a minute. Think about it. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Make sure your feet are still driving you. Do your left and right hands sound the same? Very good. Again, 1, 2, ready, go. Nice and rebounded. All driven by the wrist. Don't use too much arm. You don't need any arm here. Nice and controlled. Awesome. Really good job. One thing that I wanted to point out was make sure you're finishing each phrase, right? Each different accent pattern that we have, it ends, almost every single one of them, with a couple exceptions, end on a tap. Right? So make sure you're playing that last tap really well before you switch to the left hand or switch to the right hand, right? A lot of times we're thinking ahead, as we have to be, in order to prepare ourselves to play well, but don't jump ahead too far. Make sure you're still finishing each phrase and playing that last eighth note with the exact same intention and energy as the first one, right? They all matter equally, but sometimes we get a little bit ahead of ourselves and we value different notes more. We don't want to do that. We want to value every single one of them at 100%. All right, we're getting closer to our goal tempo here. We're at 86 beats per minute. Make some adjustments. Figure out what you want to work on. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Nice and rebounded. Make it feel consistent. Very good. 2, again, 2, 86. Drive those feet. Play perfectly with your feet. There's a lot to think about now. Make your left hands and right hands feel the same. Very good. Think about what your tendencies are with each different pattern, right? One of my tendencies, especially at this tempo, is when we get to the bucks, those just continuous accents. At this tempo, I want to rush. So that's something I have to think about, right? Maybe your tendency is you want to rush here, right on these eighth notes in the beginning. Maybe you're a little bit slow. Maybe you're tensing up the more there's accents, right? This is one of the harder patterns in this exercise. It's hard to talk and play. That's one of the harder parts of this exercise because there's all 3 different strokes, 4 strokes in 3 notes right away. So maybe that's a challenge for you. Maybe you get overly tense there. Figure out what your patterns are and your tendencies are and start to anticipate them before you get to that part so that when you know, all right, I'm not going to rush when I get to these, yeah, then you can be right in time. Always anticipate your tendencies before they happen. That way, you can stop them. I can't stop them. I can only stop mine. I'd love to stop yours, but I can only give you little tips here. Speaking of tips, we're getting close to the top. Ooh, that is rough. That was something. All right, we're at 88 beats per minute. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Think about your tendencies before they happen. You can look down. Very good. 2. Again. 2, 88. Nice and consistent. Your taps feel the same? I hope so. Awesome. We are jumping to 90 beats per minute, and as you may have noticed, we're 10 clicks up. There's a tremendous difference in how this feels. You won't notice the difference, but if we were to drop back down to 80, you'd realize, I feel like you have a half an hour between every single note you're playing, right? So much time to think. You have less time to think when you're at 90 beats per minute, and that's a good thing, right? Sometimes we overthink things, sometimes we start to overcorrect based on time. But also, moving faster gives us a little bit of a chance to develop some momentum and to really replicate the patterns in our body, right? Let's get this nice and legato tap stroke. And then let's apply it, whether or not there's an accent somewhere, right? The accent just moves, but we're just playing tap strokes, right? We're playing nice legato eighth notes, right? Very low end, and then an accent, no problem. I can put an accent there, I can put an accent there, no matter where the accent goes. That's what we're building here. And we're at our goal tempo. Yeah, look at us now. 90. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. 2, ready, go. Drive your feet. Very good. 2, again, 2, ready, go. Find the groove. Nice and consistent. All right, we're at 94. We're getting a little glimpse into where we're headed in the next video in our next set of tempos. One, two, 1, 2, ready, go. Nice and consistent. Very good. Last time here. 1, 2, again, go. Drive with your feet. Nice and consistent between hand transitions. Nice and even. Controlled heights. Very good. All right. You already know what we're doing. We're bumping back down to our goal tempo. We're doing performance reps right away. This isn't pushing, 94 is not pushing us to the point where we need to resettle in here or anything like we did in some of those singles. We're jumping right to 90. I want you to think about your tendencies right now, and we're going for 2 performance reps. All right? Your best representation of this whole practice section that we've been doing. If you had to record a video right now and put it on the internet, what's the best thing that you can do? All right? Put the pressure on. Here we go. 2 reps. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. 2, very last time here. You did it! 90 beats per minute. Huge jump between 80 and 90. There's a tremendous amount that we went over in this section here. Hopefully that felt great. Hopefully by the time you got to 90, you went back and looked at 80 and you're like, wow, I can see all the growth that I made just in this session here. If you're ready to jump to the next tempo, I will see you there. If you're not, that's cool too. Back it up and do this section again. Pick a tempo that felt a little bit weird, or where you started to notice where you had weird tendencies, you were squeezing the stick too much, you were rushing, you were dragging at points. There was just a lot to think about. If you're ready for the next one, I'll see you there. If not, rewind. No problem. That's why we're here. Otherwise, thanks a lot for playing along, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for playing along. If you liked that video, please let me know down below. Let me know why you liked it. Let me know what you're working on so I can make more things exactly for what you need. And if you didn't like it, keep it to yourself. No, if you didn't like it, please let me know why down below, because I want to make videos that you need. What skill sets do you need? What would make you better faster? Let me know. And if you want to get some real feedback, tag me in videos. Send me an email, tag me on Instagram, tag me on YouTube. I want to give you comments. I want to make this a community, and I want us to all get better at drums faster. All right, I'll see you in the next one.